Alright, I'm making a marksman of the... I played almost every other class in mastery. I'm making a marksman. And
in the beginning, there was darkness. Only terror, myself, and the void. I was content with nothing. She dreamt of light, of life, of humanity. We disagreed, and yet, in her world, there were gods. Majasa of the desert, Lagon of the sea, Rye of the endless skies, and Hierot of the frozen tundra. But fate stole Ekera away. Without her, there was conflict, then wars. In the end, it was Rye who sought to outshine the sun that would pull the world into his flame. Caught within Rae's gaze were the Keepers, an order sworn to protect Eterra's memory and the power it still holds. They were joined by someone unexpected, a traveler, willing to walk into the flames of war. But why? Was it honor they sought? Power? Redemption? Or was this fate? Perhaps. But no story is quite that simple.
but yeah, I'm playing marksman. I'm gonna be an archer basically.
I've never been this far from the slums. No looking back now. Time to leave Majoka behind me.
But you know, I was watching videos about Dragon Dogma 2 and just looking up, the classes and all that. And I wanted to play an archer or play a rogue, but there weren't any advanced classes that were just like straight up upgrades. So I don't know how that's gonna work. Like if I play a starter class, can I always utilize that, or I have to upgrade to the more advanced locations or mixed classes to get, a good end game thing going? But at the end of the day, I can just make a new character if it ends up being like super garbage. Like in this game, you have upgrades to archer or to rogue. Like the rogue's basically the universal class, and then it upgrades into marksman or blade dancer. There was no really upgrade into these. Like there's no advanced rogue or advanced marksman. It just isn't.
That was close.
Shuriken. But like as far as last Epoch goes, you know, I'm still playing through the campaign with the characters. I haven't finished yet any of them. But I'm about to be done on my Beastmaster, I think. I don't know. I think that's what it was. I'll probably play for the campaign and try to get all the characters up to a pretty high level. You know, just so like a completionist type of thing. I definitely need a new game eventually, you know. I'll need a new game to play. You know, I can go back to playing like, no, as far as what I feel like going back to do, I can go back and play Final Fantasy 14. I kind of feel like going further with that. And that's about it. Everything else, I don't really feel like going too much further. Like, I don't think I'm gonna get into like a brand new game with just, like I said, I was talking the other day, like just the energy and hype that went into it. You know, I don't think it'll just result in me just being able to jump on into it and get into it. It's like completely different. It's like mainstream music. Mainstream music is something that has that kind of that mold, that template over it. Like if you listen to like Taylor Swift, like it's mainstream, and then like you can listen to it like music. You know. I don't think I'll be doing anything that I don't really want to do. Like you might have that template on it, like it's mainstream or it's a big game. What does it say mainstream? It's like mainstream music. Like I wouldn't want to just do mainstream. Like I don't have the soul of the mainstream consumer that listens to mainstream music because it's mainstream and like that's like a frequency that they exist on. You know, that goes for like the games. And then games that are super obscure, I don't want to be like super obscure, super quirky, and you know, out of more of like on a different level. I don't want to do that. People get it, like it's not that different. Like I wanted to play like Final Fantasy 14. It's a pretty big MMO. It's not like that different. Like I wouldn't start wearing cat ears and being different. People get it. So like ideally it'd be like you want to satisfy the mainstream, you know, just kind of the regular decency people would have. In my opinion, I'd be like taking care of stuff, like not being a complete cat ear bandit and eating everything and touching it and being weird with it. But, you know, even taking care of stuff kind of removes you from enjoying it because everyone's gonna like hot dog, chili dog, everything. Like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm not really worried about someone doing that. Like, I just don't think it's what I'd want to do, right? I don't want to be the hot dog chili eating contest person.
Where'd you learn to fight?
I guess people are more inclined to be like this blind, endearing creature. One's mom who loves him can still see all the bad stuff that goes on and stuff they love him because that's their son. So people are like these blind mole rat creatures, these blind mole people who live underground and just want to be like super weird with all that.
There. I'll see you ahead.
Like what I'm saying isn't to be like interrupting the blind mole man's dinner where everyone is just as blind as he is and like, you know, I just don't want to be like Chili Dog Man or be Cat Ears Man. You know, I don't have the energy or the drive to be mainstream man.
Not happening.
Mainstream's like almost an arena of battle where, you know, you'd already understand easily cat ear stuff and all that other stuff. That's not normal people.
Now, speaking of,
So like the mainstream almost is kind of like I said in arena, it's more like sacrificial. It isn't actually mainstream at the end of the day. I'm saying like anything you consider mainstream, I'd almost argue that it isn't, because the way you would treat people who aren't mainstream, it's not very mainstream of you. And the people who are mainstream, the way they would be treated and just allowed to be treated, not very mainstream of you. You would think everyone was like a cat ear type of person. Not because cat people are weird, but because cat ear stuff isn't normal to people. So like people would look at it from a safe distance in their normal mainstream area. Yeah.
Right.
It's like all I'd really want to convey there is I don't want to go to the mainstream. I don't want to go to like the mainstream arena.
Grail was just one of. They're gone. Balthus and I remain.
Not because
Balthus is busy checking
I
on our
don't
secret
want to go in the arena, because I don't want to be in the mainstream space acting like a complete psychopath. You know what I'm saying?
They can. Sure I do. Do this. And our
Like there's a higher level in mainstream that's like more elegant and almost you're designed to act a certain way more so than just be big. Like being like some type of gentleman. That's not really the point. Right, like I get that like I get it, you got cat ears and you got mainstream. But to me it isn't really cat ears. And it's not even really mainstream. It's like Chili Dog Man. Like people act crazily either way. And the more crazy they act, it's probably because they aren't where they should be. So like I would know that cat ears isn't really your target. It's really like Chili Dog Man. And Chili Dog Man acts super crazy in mainstream areas. And you know, at the end of the day, people will be treated really poorly in those areas because they're not all constantly pouring out what the mainstream want. Kind of like a vampire suck blood out somebody, like eat blood. But just because they are mainstream doesn't mean that they aren't Chili Dog, because they are Chili Dog. People who are mainstream are way more Chili Dog than people who aren't, just because they like cry for stuff and all that. No one cries for cat ears and screams. No, people think that was weird. People think it's okay to cry for like mainstream stuff, like scream about it, cry about it. It's like I just want to be, you know, like I want to be like in my position. Like I want to be creating content, right? In whatever way that is. I don't want to be like mainstream or Chili Dog or cat ears. I don't need the comfort or the ease. It's not like I wake up in the morning and I'm lost. Like, where am I? Like, I don't see my Buccaneers jersey, or I don't see my cat ears. Like, I don't really care. I don't need them. I don't need cat ears. I need Buccaneer jersey. Like, let me cook. Let me cook, bro. Come on. But you know, my understanding of cat ears and hot dog man, Chili Dog Man more so, and mainstream is that people who are mainstream understand things outside of mainstream. Like everyone gets it. Like they should understand that people who are cat eared are considered weird, and blah blah blah. And like you should know that you shouldn't treat people like that anyway, because especially someone who's super mainstream. Like everyone likes this episode. Don't be like a complete psychopath about it. Too late. Okay, right, so like I know that if the mainstream maybe, you know, founded in themselves to not treat people poorly and be like a ballerina, maybe I would participate. But I'm just doing this for the sake of, like, you know, the sanctity of mainstream stuff. Not the fact that I want to benefit from it, just the fact that it should be treating stuff a little better, be treated better. Especially these days. These days, it's a lot easier to become mainstream because of the internet. Back in the day, people that are mainstream kind of rare. People just probably treat them like shit in some way, or just treat them like they weren't a human who could respond. They were like on a delayed response or something. You know, I just wish people in mainstream were treated better and that they treated things outside of them better, so I could stop agonizing over the arena and all that. The arena of doom, if you will. So then I could, like, kind of retire my warrior robes and just be like, well, the cat ear people are like, that's like them, like that's the ecosystem. Those type of people, like, it's not that deep. It's not that weird. It just would be weird eventually if you want it to be like yourself. Like, you can't just be a certain type of cat ear person to go for all that. People that are themselves are people who aren't themselves, or people that talk about being themselves. Like, that's their thing, they're themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's their personality. Their personality is the fact that they know and you know that they're being themselves. Not that they're literally just being themselves, they're not worried about anyone else. Like, it's like being a rock star. Like, being a rock star is about being, like, you know, nutty and over the top, but really that's what they purposely do. If you were literally like a rock star and you did that stuff naturally, that's cool. But people literally are doing it on purpose, acting like they're some rock star on purpose when maybe they're not. So a good idea would be to mold these rock star, you know, these punk, indie, alternate type of things with mainstream, just to kind of understand what you could really do. Like, you don't have to be mainstream, you don't have to be indie or alternative. You can just be, you can be you or something. You don't have to be another personality of a cell phone or a block of cheese. Okay. It's almost like a battle ladder. It's like a Mortal Kombat ladder where you have to climb up it or down it. I don't remember. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, just you be mainstream and you be cat ear, and I'll go do something else. You want something that looks good in resume. Being mainstream is almost a dead end. Like, once you're mainstream, you're big, you can't do anything else. You can't become the president. You can't. You just, that's as big as it gets. With your cat ears, it just looks bad in your resume. If I want to make content and then be allowed to do whatever content I want and accept it, not people questioning, why isn't he, like, tying little shoes onto a rabbit or something? That's what he usually does. Like, I just can't have that on my resume. I can't be, like, super high energy mainstream dude who can only be high energy. Once he's not high energy, people are like, oh, you're kind of toxic, you're kind of bad, you're bad. You're bad, right? Or, like, I don't want to be super different just for the sake of being different. Not different, but just trying to be different. You know, people are just not really different. Like, you're not that different. You're not that weird. Like, you're just being different on purpose. Like, I swear people that play Final Fantasy, like, I've watched some streams, they're just being different on purpose. They're not even different. They're just doing it because that's what you think. That's what people think you should do if you're playing Final Fantasy. You should be different. Like, you don't have to be different. Like, there's so many people that play this game. It's such a big game. It's such a great game. You can just enjoy it. And whatever naturally comes out of it, whatever character people adapt naturally, you can just do that instead of being different on purpose. Like, that's super cringy, and kind of belittling of people and their intelligence. Like, I know that you're not different. Like, nah, bro, I'm different. Like, okay, but you're kind of being a piece. You know, and people that like, you know, watching football or, you know, mainstream level stuff, and like being punk, like, they don't want to be considered these degenerate fans who eat chili dogs and scream and stuff. They want to be people who enjoy it. They just want to enjoy it. Excuse me. Like, being black's a good example because black entertainment and black culture all ties together as one. So, like, maybe I'd want to be considered that genre, like, not mainstream, not different, but, like, just like the black stuff, because that's how, like, they do it, in my opinion. Like, they have where they live in the hood. They have music that's based on the hood. They have cuisine and parties based on the hood. You know, block parties. You know, they're eating, you know, chicken wings from the spot. You know, there's a Chinese spot. You know, that's how they do it. And you'd accept it. If it's hood, it's hood. That's what I'm basically saying. If it's some hood stuff, it's some hood stuff. But I want to be tied down into a certain genre where I can't move all around and do whatever I want. So I just think of it as hood stuff. Like, oh, he's driving around hood style. Or, oh, he's eating dinner, he's having a hood dinner. Everything is all tied together. So I'd rather have it be like that, where it was really just the output, not really the result or the accolades or the grouping. Just, you know, if it's rock and roll, it's rock and roll. But now he's doing like rap, and that's fine because it's just music. So once like we'll do something long enough, no one will even think twice about it. Like, that's what they do. Like, if black people start wearing suits and marching and talking about my brother, I love you, everyone would accept it. That's what black people do. They're Black Panther. That's what they do. But they usually mess it up and start, you know, doing other things. Extracurricular. Like, most black stuff will come from kind of, well, this is just like Western black people, you know, their whole situation. Most black stuff comes from something bad happening, and then it's great, like they make it great, and then it crashes into like loser world, and it just you know, has really nothing to do with like the results. But you know, in that world, you learn not to be a struggle rapper or to be like a victim, because you're always going to be doing that. Like, that's what you do. Like, you'd literally be such a terrible stepping stone. Like, you could have like rappers just like kind of destroy the world around them for their own sake and the sake of people who they selectively choose to help. Like, I was rapping in New York when it came out, I would just kill everybody else who was rapping. And that's what happens. They kill everyone who was rapping. Not literally, but they rapped against them, they killed them. And then they went out into the world, you know, with higher level success, you know, generation after generation, killing everyone who was rapping around them and destroying like the local scene to become more. And then like, it's cool, and people expect that to happen. Like, you can't rap, you suck. Or like, but wait, bro, rap these days becomes like a music. Like, it's not like competitive like that. Like, it's not like that's the end goal, is to be competitive. The end goal is to be successful and have good music. Nah, bro. Like, I would tell people, look, if you can't rap and you got destroyed, you probably should keep rapping because you have something in you. You have a different perspective on this whole rap thing. Like, you know, you're not someone that just kills people. Even though you might have been killing people, but it's kind of like anime, where in rap you kill people and they die, but in anime they become your friend and you don't really kill them. That's what I'm kind of saying it should be like, because I don't really want I don't want people to think that rap's like this dead end, like murder sport, when it really isn't. The best rap songs usually have endearing qualities, you know, and that's for a lot of black people stuff. Like, they usually destroy stuff for the sake of this movement or the sake of themselves. Not that like there's anything wrong with being a high level rapper who kills people, but I'm just saying that's kind of like misleading. Like, you might destroy people around you, like your competitor, like your local scene, but then you'll go to Hollywood and not kill anybody. Like, that's not fair, because they could have did that. They could have went to Hollywood, 'cause that's what you did, right? And they would just be rapping still. It's kind of like toxic to do that. It's like if I said, well, you live next to me and we're both rapping, so I'll just kill you. Like, I'll kill you off the rap scene, and then I'm gonna go rap for like the president. Like, that's so cheap. That's like being like a hyena, basically. Like, before you can even understand that you can go to Hollywood, before you can even go to Hollywood, I'll make sure you can't even rap in this area. Like, you're dead. Right? Or like, you know, them having like political movements where their lives are no longer normal. Their lives are completely altered beyond even being black. Like, the black experience is something, right? But their life's still a little normal. But once they become like a Black Panther, or they become Martin Luther King, their life's not normal. They destroy whatever normalcy and nuance their life had. It almost really, you need to keep your sanity and stay grounded. And they just go straight up militant mode. And I'm just saying, like, their stuff's all tied together, but that's like what I want from it. I just want it all to be tied together, do whatever I want. Definitely, black people need to like stop being such like proficient competitors and then just be chilling, right? Like they're like, these are the type of people that like would destroy you like in the hood, and then you would be somewhere else, right? And it would just not happen. Like they're not gonna do anything. It's just super toxic. It's super toxic. I don't really like that type of stuff. It's too toxic for me. It's like if I was a smaller creator and then I had some buddies make me big, and and then I like, before I left to be big, I just killed somebody around me. Like, oh, you remember me? And just demolished them. It's very toxic and it's unnecessary. Like, we know that you're gonna be a big rapper. You don't have to kill anybody in your local area to achieve those goals. That's not really how it's gonna be. Like, that never really translates, you know. Like I had to survive in the hood and like beat people down. Like, alright, but that doesn't mean you have to like live on top of them, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to do what you have to do. You don't have to benefit from that much. It's very immature and very toxic. It doesn't leave any chance or idea that there'd be like a next generation of these type of people. You basically did it for themselves, which is fine, but don't even make it seem like you're like the good guy, right? Like it's villain. That's villain behavior. Like, if I was rapping and then I made sure everyone that was around me was considered lower level and weren't great enough to make it out of town, like, that's super toxic. That's terrible. And then you'd be like living it up somewhere, like you don't even care about that type of stuff anymore. Like, you just did it so they couldn't leave, like a crab or something, right? Like, you made it seem like they were garbage, so they couldn't leave. Not even because you needed to do that. You didn't have to do that. It's almost like they're really good at like tearing off the seal of like normalcy and just stomping someone below the earth and then like flying away like into like, it's almost like some evil rich person strategy. Like, if I was rapping, I know I don't have to say anything bad about anybody because rap music everyone listens to isn't super toxic and aggressive. It's like you do that on purpose. Like, black people's aggressive is toxic. Like, if they think they're being a football player, they're just being toxic. If they think they're being a man, they're being toxic. Like, you're toxic right now, bro. Being toxic again. Like, black people possess the venom, and you know, the crazy snake, and they're able to melt through like steel. If you really wanted to, it could.
Not here. It isn't safe. We'll reconvene outside. That should hold the first real house, sir. What do you mean?
Like, I would say if you were really wise,
Tell you what. Let's get out of here.
you'd probably
first,
take
and
all
then
the
I'll
people that
explain
would basically get
These beast
slapped around in a
dogs are hardly
competition.
worth it if you don't know
Not that black
why
people are
your
toxic by
eyes
nature, but
are
once they start competing and they stop listening, and then, you know, they do what's successful, they start getting pretty toxic. Like, I feel like the best people that aren't black are the rich. You know, rich people are depicted as these happy people. You know, they're not that toxic. Even though they, you know, they might snap or something. You know, rich people are known to like snap and beat up their wife or something. As the story goes, you know, they just don't seem as toxic. Not that I'm gonna get into a big race comparison, but at the end of the day, you could almost agree that if you had to compete against people that are black for like the gold or leave the hood, it might get a little toxic. You might even stop listening. You might even stop making sense. You just start throwing toxins. So here we go. I'll split the ghetto black mafia that I'm creating with the trolls on the internet. They get to be toxic, and I get to tie everything together. But, you know, just, you know, spirit bomb style, like, give me energy. You know, we should take all of the people who would get, you know, destroyed by toxic, you know, competitiveness, and give them a chance. You know, give them a platform. But they probably aren't going to be that toxic, or they would have won. I'm guessing, right? I probably should just be using acid flask until I get some like Yeah, let me see what this does. Like it disappears through enemies. I'm gonna use this and acid flask. Yeah. Piercing. And the direct specialization. I might use puncture shot. I like how that feels. Or puncture, exclusively. Just puncture. And then I'll probably throw in like... I'm not gonna get Umbrella Blade anytime soon. I guess I'll just go Flask, Acid Flask, just for like the fighting like an elite. I don't know how far this shoots. It doesn't look like it shoots that far. Oh, it does. But, you know, my real point about that was I don't want to be like pigeonholed or stuck doing something for the sake of the success and its luxury. Like, I want people to pick me up, you know, big streamers, just so I can be like them. Not myself, just how they are, how they think they should be. Like, I know people that will be just like them. Like, they should go with them. They should pick them up instead. I know people that live by the streaming code of the big streamers. And, like, live by respecting them. Like, underneath them, like a tree or something. I know someone else that would be better in that position. I definitely don't want it. It's almost like being dehydrated. Like someone big will pick you up and you lose all your hydration and juice. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna create the I don't know what you call people. I don't know, I guess a champion or something. Someone that accepts challenges. Is the juice. He's the flow. If you want to challenge the juice or the flow, you gotta at least let him know you're challenging him. And once the juice is kind of the king because he accepts all the challenges and he wins all the battles, he fights all the battles, well then, I don't have to really worry about anyone trying to help me in a way that is very dry and very unenthusiastic. I'd rather have people kind of shake off that dusty outlook they have and being so business-minded and decide whether they like what I'm doing or not, and not just help me because they want to be buddies. Like, if you want to be friends with people, that's different. The big problem I have with people is that they get their friends but then have to, you know, live their lives the way they live them. And a lot of people try to make their friends and their friendships about business and being older. That's just not how friendships work. You wouldn't be friends with someone like that. It's like someone who doesn't have friends. Someone who's like a businessman. He doesn't have friends. He has business associates. All that. Yeah, mama. I like this. I was thinking I wasn't gonna like it. I like it. I think archers kind of scratch more of like a longevity-based itch. Like, do you feel like a boss? Do you think you could? You know, it's like kind of it's not really a fantasy, it's almost like a real life benefit to playing like an archer. Like, you aren't just you know, this is my opinion, like you aren't really absorbed in like the culture of it, or you're not trying to be like a goblin or a barbarian.
What happened? That must be. We have their camping. Are you sure? Stay safe. Stay alive.
Like, I play like I started playing an archer or rogue in the World of Warcraft, you know, or, you know, I started playing it, you know, like a sniper, that type of a persona. I feel like it's a persona in like a class, you know, across all the games that isn't like a fantasy or isn't like, not that you should become a sniper, like that's pretty dangerous. That's probably the most dangerous thing you can become. But like, you know, I can use my archer in World of Warcraft as like a spokesman. Like, he's like a good face for my stuff. It has more of like a real world application. It's not like a real world effect. Like, I'm not sniping people in real life. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of what it comes off as to me. Like if, for people that are like snipers video games, like that's like their whole personality, like you know, like they're a sniper. I feel like it kind of affects real life more. So like in real life, you're looking out for that sniper, that sniper persona, I guess you could say. In real life, not like a video game sniper. Like it's bigger than the game, I guess. Which to me is really interesting. I've been trying to like adapt that by playing as them and stuff, and implementing those effects that come from snipers, whether it be like real life snipers or video game snipers, into real life. That's what I'm basically trying to explain. I'm not saying from the barbarian and the sniper, I'd rather be a sniper so I can go and snipe people. I'm saying the effects that these things have, I feel like sniper has more real world effects, more real life effects. And like the archer, you know what I'm saying? I think about quickscoping in Call of Duty, it's like a sniper. It's more important that it affects your life, having like montages, people think you're good. Not that the sniper is like this silent character. So I feel like it's good, you know, in some ways you're in the game doing sniper stuff, rogue stuff. And then people who are watching it, or people that are like being your buddy, they kind of get both those two things. They get the sniper and they get, you know, whatever else usually happens, right? Like if I'm streaming, you usually get me streaming, but now you have me being like a sniper, and that kind of is cool. You know, seeing him like shoot through it a dozen people, and that whole idea, like a real life, you know, sniper effect. Nothing else has that effect, in my opinion. Like when it comes to like magic, you use like a wizard or something, you just like stack up layers and layers of wizard stuff. Like if it's in a video game, that's magical now, and then the wizard's magical, and then he talks magically. He's always in his magical study doing magical things. In a magical timeline. Like that's what I would think, but with Sniper, like, well, yeah, the Sniper's cool, you know, people think he's cool. He's like the coolest kid. He like transcends the world he's in, but he's still a sniper in it. Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. But I'm just gonna run with what I get it. Like I get it. Like if I want to have like someone that bridges the gap between the real world and like a fantasy, I'd use a sniper. And you'd have more of a real world effect than a fantasy effect. That's just what I'm gonna. That's how I'm going. That's how I'm going with. Like maybe you'll try to be something like that, like someone who doesn't get it or doesn't want to get it. Like okay, I'm like a sniper. Like I have a real world effect. If I'm like listening, I'm really not listening, I'm really affecting things. That's fine, like that's what I would want to happen, because the sniper. Maybe not because of you, but if you can fill in as me for my sniper, I'll take it. Maybe people can learn from that. That sniper's like a character that affects the real world. Maybe people just want to go a little bit further than maybe hoarding power, and they do want to affect the real world like a sniper. Maybe that's like the barrier people need. People that are considered to be like more reserved and don't really go out and affect the world. Maybe that's what they need. A sniper. Sniper character. A lot of people are hearing me say he needs a sniper rifle. I didn't say that. That's what you basically heard me say. That's what you wanted to hear me say. I'm talking about the character. It's like a Marine. A Marine is someone who's very disciplined, and you want to be like a Marine, not a murderer, or a shooter, right? I'm just saying you want to be disciplined, you want to have that character. You're just literally, people are literally hearing me say, give these guys a sniper rifle. Like you need to go somewhere else. You know, sometimes sniper's not always the funnest, not the sniper, but you know, the shooter, the archer. It's not always the funnest class to play, but it's to me, it's kind of the most effective character. Especially if you want to be a streamer, like you should probably associate yourself with some type of sniper character. If everyone did, it'd be fine because of what effects reset the clock. It's almost like a more mature median, where you're like having to be chill. You have to be focused. You know, you're not just some like crazy hothead. But at the end of the day, it isn't literally maturity. Like, it's not a mature way. It could be. It could be. I think that's what I'm gonna go for now. I think I'm gonna try to adapt more of a sniper character. Like I'm trying to implement that. Because that'll do a lot of the legwork. It's kind of like having Ronald McDonald, but it's a sniper. It does a lot of the legwork. It deals with a lot of the things that I would have to deal with, and I would want to deal with it from scratch. Like I'd want to wake up and okay, here's what I'm gonna deal with. People needing me to pay attention to them because you know they want to be involved. You know, in reality, I'd have my sniper do it. I put my sniper up at the window, and he'd be like, "Hey guys," and you'd be like, "Hey, you're so cool." It's like having a mascot, and I feel like this is a superior mascot. I think they added these siege engineers in recently. They have like these hammers that go back and forth, like they throw them in a boomerang back. That's new, I think. I don't know. Maybe not. But it's always hard because you might just have to play a sniper in a game. Like I was gonna play a ranger or whatever, the archer in Dragon's Dogma, just because you know I'm adopting this ideology of the sniper. Like a lot of people adapt the ideology of like a rich man or the president or something, someone who's successful. I wouldn't say the sniper's exactly a success story. I just think it's a really appealing character that can be very deep and appealing to people in a very cool way. Like you don't have to go to school to like a sniper. You don't have to become the president. You don't have to become a sniper to like a sniper. You can just hold a bow and arrow and wear a hood and you're like, oh my god, I'm so cool. But like I'm not gonna completely like how I was even saying. Like I was even saying how I wouldn't be mainstream. I don't want to be that guy who changes their whole persona and energy for the sake of that. In this case, be the sniper. Like I don't want to start playing a sniper in every game, and it's not the best class for me to play. I might not, right? This is where you say, hey man, am I gonna be Energy McGee? I might, because it never negatively affects you. But it's like it's almost like a mediocre, bland thing to do. Like I always play sniper. That's me. I'm the sniper. Like you know, with a sniper's a sniper. You're in here being different. I like the idea though. The idea to me seems like a vacation. Like every game's gonna be, if there's a sniper, I play it. And every game I play that has a sniper, I play it and I snipe. And like it opens with me sniping, and then, or just shoot you with bow and arrow, which is the same thing as a sniper, really. A marksman. I'm saying someone with good aim. I just don't really want that. I want it to be organic. Like if I play Dragon's Dogma, marksman or archer, it's because it's organic, not because it's part of my marketing strategy. And really it is, right? Like it's my marketing strategy. Like that's how we get down. That's how we do. But it ends up being very bland and boring a lot of the time. It's like I already know how it's gonna be. Like the marksman in Diablo 4 is pretty boring, in my opinion. Like it's fun when you try really hard and you pull off the combos to kill like elites and mobs. It's like super sweaty. It's super sweaty, but it's like not. It's like a good sweaty. It's kind of like playing sports. Like it's good sweaty. but it's also super bland. It's almost like playing basketball at grandma's house. It was really, or else usually boring. Like you're balling out of control. That's what I would say being a sniper is. Playing basketball at your grandma's house. If it's like a boring grandma house type of thing. Like right now, I could just be super boring and just spam acid blast. That's how I would see like, ooh, that's so boring. At the same time, cracking poison and spamming a puncture is sweaty. So I have to find this battery really, but this way to look at it where it's sweaty and boring, but there has to be something that activates the energy. Like, oh, this is so sweaty and boring. It's like playing World of Warcraft, like it's considered to be really sweaty and boring. Like, no bro, it's competitive. But competitive is always toxic, so maybe the Ranger will be a good mascot for me. Like almost a default streamer class, just because I understand like how things look and how I look at them. And then maybe I can change competitiveness to my sniper where it isn't toxic and I can do competitive stuff. But I'm still at my grandma's house balling, and it's supposed to be boring. I'm supposed to be sitting down somewhere. Someone's gonna beat me up doing all this. Someone's gonna track me down and whoop me.
Oh, I will be there. The power. If Raya were to get his talons on it, more than that, he'd be untouchable. Now, which, speaking of, let's head back to camp. I must leave you once.
It's kind of Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty is something that has I have a Rick and Morty shirt on. It's like Rick and Morty. You know, it's mainstream. It's like kind of big, but the jokes and kind of the attitude of the characters aren't like mainstream sponges. Like they're not gonna reference Ryan Gosling. They're gonna like kind of have their own world. Like they're not gonna be uncool, so he can have his. You know, that's cool. But like some things, like Family Guys, it's like a mainstream sponge. Like if you're mainstream, they'll literally suck everything out of that it could, and then make it theirs, I guess. Like they were stupid the whole time. Like those guys.
Well, we are keeping. Do you think going through the
That's just the mainstream is like you have like it's almost like an arena. Like you have like you can start in the morning, whatever, cool, everyone's gonna be cool. But then by like 9 o'clock when the demons come out at night, you know, somebody's like trying to destroy them. You know what I'm saying? Who's also mainstream. Whatever, I'm just gonna probably use the sniper. Like, you know, this is like my strategy. I'm supposed to keep it secret, but knowing that I'll probably stop doing it because I don't want to play a sniper in every game all the time, non-stop. Sniper.
I don't seem to have gone far.
You know, I'll just let people know that's what I do.
Different.
So like they know if I stop playing a sniper, it's because it's not entertaining, right? Like it could be boring. But I kept it a secret. I'd have to either keep playing it silently or explain why the sniper sucks. I'm not going to explain why the sniper sucks. I'm just going to let people know that's what I do. Like I use the sniper as almost like a mascot.
Too easy.
Not that I'm like the greatest sniper of all time. I just like the Marksman, like the sniper. And I'm going to use it as a mascot. And as almost like a pseudo person to replace me when I don't really want to do it. I don't want to do that. You know? It also becomes an obsession. Like I'm thinking now that I have like some type of art page full of just all these pictures of snipers and archers. Like that'd be so pornographic at some point. People think you're running a porn site because you'd just be so obsessed. There'd be so many pictures of it. People would be more drawn to the amount of pictures than the actual pictures themselves, or whatever you're trying to say. Here's a picture of another sniper. What do you guys think about Wednesday? On this Wednesday, what do you think? Like, this guy's obsessed with snipers. He's obsessed. Sniper. So when Dragon Dog number 2 comes out, and you know, I play it, I'm gonna play as a sniper, and people are gonna know that it's my thing. That's what I do. But then if I play it for a couple hours and it's not really clicking, I'm gonna switch my class and make a new character. You can always actually switch your character in that game. Anyway, switch your class. So it should be okay. But I just feel like there's nothing wrong with doing this. Just admitting that it isn't fun is basically the key. Like, yeah, you can be like super high energy dude, but it isn't fun. Like, as long as you can kind of admit that, then we're good. Like, you're not having any fun. You're just being like a character. Like, you're doing this because that's like your system. Like, that's cool. Like, I can admit that a sniper's like my system character. But it might not be fun all the time. Like, that's okay. Because it's fun somewhere else. Like this, I thought this was gonna be boring playing as a marksman in last Epoch, but it's fun. So like that worked out in my favor. It's either gonna be boring or it's gonna be super sweaty. Like if I played Diablo 4, being a marksman is super sweaty. Like it's the sweatiest class in the game. Like trying to keep enough energy, or I use like the void explosions, like proccing that in everyone, making sure it blows up. Like I'm spending all my energy using the mastery, whatever it's called, the class ability, whatever those are called in that game, where you like get infinite energy. Like sweaty, super sweaty. It's almost like being a mathematical equation where you're just floating in the air trying to be sweaty. It's super sweaty. At this point, using the sniper, it's really like understanding what's happening. Like this is like the explanation. And you know, kind of dividing up the energy. Like, okay, this amount of energy goes to being sweaty, this amount of energy goes for it to be being boring, because it can get boring. Like, anything can be boring. And then, you know, thinking, wait, who do I know that's sweaty? Who do I know that's boring? Someone who's trying to troll me. Hello? Hello? I'm sorry, but I thought that was someone calling about seafood, but it was someone calling about something else. I think they had a very strong Eastern accent, and that led me to believe that they were not selling me crabs. They're not calling me out the crabs. But that is my basically conundrum. So like I said, who do I know that's sweaty and boring? Someone who's trying to get me to do some toxic internet behavior. You can have the sweaty rogue, you can have the boring rogue, and then I can just enjoy it. It's very much like being a chef. A chef's someone who doesn't eat food to enjoy it. He eats food and makes it for it to be good. People can eat it. I'm sure that people, you know, the whole chef thing is like he's kind of angry all the time. It's basically the angry chef persona, being a sniper. Angry chef persona. Like, who can eat all this food? Who can eat all the boring food? Who can eat all the sweaty, try-hard food? Someone who is try-hard and sweaty. Someone who uses a sniper to feed people. You know, it's like the chef. The chef, the sniper, same thing. I'll be able to enjoy food because I enjoy the best food. I'm like the chef. I enjoy the finest points and the finest restaurants and the finest settings to eat food within. I manage McDonald's, I eat McDonald's every day, but like, just we're considered a sloppy McDonald's eater. These people probably silently eat the McDonald's in the back or something, and they would eat like a burger or something, and it'd be like, you know, they'd make sure they made it and it was like the biggest, it had extra stuff on it. You know what I'm saying? It's chef stuff, chef behavior. You know, as long as you got your burger that was on the menu, you'll be good. Chef behavior. And you know, when it comes to creating content, being a chef is perfect because you literally make something, people eat it, and they're satisfied. And that kind of 1-2, that whole cycle is perfect because that's really all that is. Like, it kind of simplifies a lot of stuff. Even I like content and content I make, but I'm gonna go eat it in the back with a candle on the table. You know, I'm gonna eat it the way I want to eat it. And if I want to change it so I can eat it differently, I'll do that as well. It's perfect. The chef, the sniper, it's a perfect comparison and almost metaphor to creating content, right? The sniper's so cool, you know, he's a great mascot. The chef basically cooks food, people eat it, they're satisfied, you know, and, you know, at the end of the day, the chef may eat some of his own food. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get the seafood. I was just talking about seafood. We're gonna go get that. So I'm gonna get up out of here. But I think I'm gonna try to get to the council chambers first. At least I got to get my hour of streaming. I'll come back and stream some more Marksman. By then, I'll probably have a Marksman back unlocked. When I come back, I'll unlock it. Level 10, usually I would get to that point after an hour. No, yeah, pretty sure my first stream might be there. Or at least the council chambers, I don't know. 10 or 20, I feel like I usually get to 20. 20, 20, 20.
Gods be with you.
Just be quick about this so I can
Stay safe.
go when it's time to go. Finish this up. But yeah, I just introduced my sniper strategy, and that's what I'm going to be using. Sniper. Just because it's easy on the, you know, production side of things. But I like my content too. I want to see sniper. And then I'm going to eventually add the chef in. The chef, I think that will like kind of wrap up my like a quarterly type of deal. Like I'm thinking about it, like I have to like make content, make characters, make all that to kind of make it something, I guess. I think after I make the chef, eventually that will be like wrapping up a certain stretch of time, a span of time that within that I had to create so much things for it to click and say, okay, that's enough. Sniper also gives you a good, like, retreating position up in, like, a sniper tower chilling. You got like a radio out, you know, a little snack. And then you can kind of deploy back out on, like, some headbutter stuff. Headbutter.
What brings you here? Hera's grace be with you.
I don't remember if that giant worm comes in and blocks the path before I get the construct right here. Alright, I'm about to get up out of here. As soon as he gets up and go.
Keep them off me. Only a little longer. You there, help me. Keep them off me.
I just increase our poison chance and poison duration, whatever. So I can start using puncture more. So look up poison flash. Just have poison on and start puncturing.
Impressive. Go on. I'll be right behind you.
I'm getting out of here. I'll be back. Alright, I'm gone.